All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word of sincerity and truth. All right, so I wanted to talk about really quick a comment that was made by this rapper Lupe Fiasco. Uh, one of the brothers sent one of his posts through the group chat, and I wrote it down in my notes. I said that wouldn't be a bad thing to talk about today. So what he said in the statement, and I can't remember. I couldn't find it. We sent so many messages through that through that group chat. Things can get lost if you don't save them. So I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of trust science, right? And he was speaking in reference to the vaccinations um, that are being developed. And he made another comment too about, I think he said something about God, where, God never said, don't, some, I can't remember exactly what it was, but in other words, don't depend on God. And that's what I took from it anyway. Um, So I wanted to talk about it, right? In science, in particular, and the idea of just trusting science just because, right? Um, yeah, I think it's irresponsible for people to just trust anything, um, without verifying it or vetting it or whatever word you want to use to that speaks to examining what it is you're consuming, whether it be food, whether it be TV, right, or whether it be any kind of books you read. In this case, medicine. You want to make sure that you not only trust the thing you're consuming, but the person who's administering it, right? And I say that because people. I was talking to a cousin of mine. She was upset with me about something I had said about conservatism, and I told her, I said, um, just because somebody holds a title, right, whether it be conservative or liberal, it doesn't make them moral or immoral, right? The principles of a thing, right, doesn't translate to the person, right? And I said that because I have this conversation a lot where people think that because somebody's a doctor or somebody's a lawyer or a scientist or a teacher, your automatic thought is that they're right, right? At least that's what I thought as a child. And talking to people, that's what most people think, that but they're doctors. They know what they're doing. Yeah, maybe they do know what they're doing, right? Maybe they do know and have the experience to um, and the resources to develop things that could help us. But my concern is not what the person does for a living, but whether or not he is moral. What is his agenda? What is his intent for me and my nation? And that's what I'm concerned about. Um, I think it's irresponsible for any adult to not check the sources, man. You don't just trust something just because it is what it is. I don't care if it comes from a scientist. I don't care if it comes from a doctor. You don't just trust something just because, right? And so I pulled up a couple of scriptures that speak to it, right? That we're all scientists, and I mean that at a very principal level, right? Meaning, like, not we didn't go to school for forensics or or whatever other kinds of sciences that they have. But in principle, right, in practicality, we're all scientists. We all have the responsibility to see a thing, try it, and verify whether or not it's true, or whether or not it's good, or whether or not it's bad. That's every adult's responsibility, and that's just my opinion, right? So I wanted to read. I wanted to read. Which one is it? I want to read this one first. So this is Sirach 17:1. It said, "The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again. He gave them few days and a short time, and power also over things therein. He endued them with strength by themselves, and made them according to his image, and put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowls. They received the use," and here's the point, "of the five operations of the Lord. And in the sixth place, he imparted them understanding, and in the seventh, speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof," right? So we have five operations, right? Which is your sight, your smell, your taste, your touch, and your hearing, right? And through those things, right, we experience the world, right? We go through and you have your first girlfriend, right? And you, through those senses, you experience those things, right? And you get a level of understanding about it, right? And then you have speech to talk about it, right? Or you might have your first taste of food, right? You might say you after time having um, a lot of food, a lot of different types of food, you build up preference, right? You can say whether or not something makes you feel good and vibrant when you consume food, or if it makes you feel lethargic, right? You can start putting these types of things together. Oh, I rather not have that. When I have lamb, it backs me up, so I'm not gonna have that today, right? I'll have that on an occasion, right? Or ooh, when I eat kale, I feel strong and vibrant. That those experiences are nothing more than science projects, man. You're going through and experiencing a thing, right, with empirical evidence on whether or not this thing is or it isn't, right? And that is all of our responsibilities. If you have five senses, right? If you have um, speech, right? If you have understanding, right? Which all humans do. I don't think we all use it. We all use it the same, but we all have been given these things, and it is our responsibility. It is our duty to ensure that we verify things, man. Right? So let me go to the next scripture. This is also Sirach, I believe. Yeah, Sirach 34, and I'll start at 9. It says, "A man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom." Right? So I don't want to take credit for looking up this word experience. The older apostle Ramla brought this out, and that's where I learned it from. And I just wanted to show what the word experience means, man. So I looked it up in the etymology online here, and it says observation as the source of knowledge, actual observation, an event which has affected one, right? From Old French experience, you got the word experiment here, right? You see, proof, experience, right? So what do scientists do? They experiment, right? They go through things and they verify it. And scientists, they won't declare something to be true unless they've seen it and they've done it over and over and over again, right? So with that being said, I just want to break into talking about vaccines for just a second here. They've developed this coronavirus vaccine in unprecedented time, right? When you look at the history of vaccines, right, and I challenge people to look it up. Vaccines take years to develop, years, years upon years to develop, right? So this says to me one of two things. It either means that the vaccine is not good enough to be effective because it hasn't been tried enough, or it has been tried and your intent is to harm me with it. It can only be one of those two things, right? I was reading this book. I'm still reading. I gotta finish it. I've been sitting on it for a little while. I'm mostly done with it though. But it's called "The Case Against Sugar and Why We Get Fat" by a guy. I think his name is Gary Taubes. Right. I recommend the book. Right. It gets into the history of sugar and um, the money players behind it, and um, how sugar has been a detriment, not only um, in the cause of diabetes, but in my opinion, specifically to Jake. We love sugar, right? But I bring that book up to talk about something that he mentions in the book, which is how long it takes for um, a verification, right? So scientists for many years, even as early as the mid 1800s, have been trying to figure out what the cause of diabetes is. And I said in mid 1800s, but even during the Grecians' time, it says the book that they've known about diabetes. Diabetes has been around for quite some time, right? And um, it's the process that they've gone through, right? To like they can't officially say, right, that anything causes diabetes, right? Not and some people say it's sugar, some people say it's insulin resistance, some people say it's the fats from meat clogging your arteries, which, in my opinion, right? I mean, I'm no doctor, but in my opinion, it's a mix of all three of those things, right? But they can't say it's true. They can only speculate because they don't have the enough experimentation to say that this is this is the one thing that causes diabetes. They can't say it. And I was impressed, or let me not maybe not impressed is not the right word, but I was definitely shocked that they go through so much research to verify things, right? Now here it is, you got this vaccination. It's only been like since the end of 2019, all of now 2020, since this corona has been in existence, right? And you mean to tell me that you already have a vaccination? I got a problem with that. I have a problem with that. And I don't care what anybody tells me. No rapper, no YouTube influencer, no government official or no politician is going to make me feel confident, right? After you've already told me that it takes years to develop something like this, that you now have a vaccine that's ready, right? And that's through my life experience, right? I've seen that myself, right? By their words, they've said that these things take years, right, to develop. Vaccines take years to develop, and all of a sudden you've made one in less than a year, and they're like, and like it's funny because the different companies that are the different companies that are going in to make these vaccines. There's a price, of course, to anything like this. Some of them are $3. Some of them are going to be $20. Some of them are going to be $10. There's a very in price, right? But there's a cost to all of the things that go into making a vaccine, right? So they're going to lose money just to administer it. That don't sound like something modern medicine has done. Losing money to administer a vaccine, now it doesn't make sense. No, they don't care how much it helps. They care about the dollar value of the thing, right? So I bring all of those stuff up to say this, right? Even if you don't know about science, even if you don't know about medicine, right? You know that in history, the so-called white man has not done anything in your best interest. Nothing. There has been nothing that the so-called white man has done for anyone that has been good for you, right? I forget, I can't think of where the scripture is, but the apocrypha speaks about how when your enemy helps you, right? It seems like it's a good thing, but it was really for him to help himself. The so-called white man, the Edomites, right? They want you dead. They want you dead. And if you know, right, who your enemy is, then you would know that. You would know that. And you wouldn't make such a asinine statement to say, trust science. Yeah, you can trust science. Science is what we all are. But I don't trust the person. I don't trust the people, right? Matter of fact, I think that's the scripture. Let's see. Let's see. Never trust thine enemy, for his iron rusteth. I think that's how it goes. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Actually, because I don't know if it's in the Apocrypha or if it's in the Bible now. I'm getting. Uh, yep. Let's see. It says Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Boom. Let's go up in there. Let's go up in there real quick. Let's go up in here real quick. This is Sirach 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. You gotta know who you're dealing with here. You can't just say trust science just because there's science. Yeah, the idea of science is a great thing, but I don't trust the people, the Edomites. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. The old saying goes, I don't trust them as far as they can throw them. I don't trust them motherfuckers as far as I can reach them, let alone throwing them. I don't trust them at all. At all. There's nothing that an Edomite can say to me that made me go, oh, okay, yeah. I don't trust you. I want to know what the motive is. I want to know what your intent is. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? Right. I'm not gonna feel bad for you, right? And you're gonna get more of these rappers and entertainers. Not only there was somebody that said this on the group chat as well. I can't remember who. But you're not only gonna have them telling people that it's safe to take the vaccine, safe to take the chip, but they're also gonna have these celebrities and rappers and so forth and so on come against us, right? And when you go and you trust that you're trusting your enemy, when you get bit, don't come over here. You stay your ass over there. Don't come over here. Like you when you when you playing hide and seek when you a kid and somebody try to hide in your spot with you. Go, no, don't come over here. Go over there. Go over there. All right. It says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help, here it is, though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. See? He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, man. You see? You can't trust them. Yeah, science has its benefits, man. Yes, of course. Of course. The word science means to know, right? It has its benefits. But I'm of the mind that we're all scientists. We all have the responsibility to vet anything that comes over your plate, so to speak, right? Let me go to the scripture here. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Right? You have to know what Satan is doing, man. So-called white man is your enemy. From scientists to doctors to lawyers, teachers, politicians, all of them, bankers, the butcher at the at the deli. They're all of the same ilk, man, and they do not have your best interest at heart. Okay. What else do I have pulled up here? Yeah, science falsely so called. But I think I want to look up something here though. Let me see. If I see the word, I'll know. Right. Science. Let's look up this word real quick. Trust in science, he says. Right. Knowledge signifies in general intelligence, understanding. Right? And it's nothing spectacular about science, man. They'll have you think it is because they have all these, beakers and goddamn vials and chemicals and all these Latin names for all of these different chemicals that you can't understand. So you think it's amazing, but it's not, man. All right, so that's it, man. I think I made the point. I didn't mean to talk about it that long, but hopefully it was edifying. And as always, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, honor and salutations to the elect. And with that, I say shalom.